Hello and welcome. This is the Geekish. So today we're going to explore more options on Corel Draw. So as you open your Corel Draw, as usual, don't forget to hit like, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So open your Corel Draw. As you open the Corel, drag and drop any logo that you like, or you can import it using the file menu. Just go on file, import, then choose the logo that you want to work on. So as for me, I'm going to be working on this logo, Hot Rock Engineering, established since 2010. So there are several options, several ways of redesigning this logo, but today we'll explore most of the options. So the first option, which is not so accurate but works, is we're going to take our pick tool. So take your pick tool, click on the logo, which is the object that you want to redesign, then hover your mouse to the top. You see where it is written trace bitmap. You can click on the drop down and you see outline trace. So in this case, on outline trace, you can choose different options, but I'm going to go with clip art for now. So I pick clip art. So as you can see, it's rendering the image. After it has finished rendering, you can see it now as two versions of the image, the one that is the original one and the one that is rendered. So after that, you click OK. So as you can see, you now have the rendered image on top. So click and drag, also resize the logo so that they can both fit on the page. So there we go. So now we're going to be working with this rendered image. So as you can see, it's almost the same image as we had, but no longer has the background, and also some of the colors are not exactly as the ones that we had in this original image. So what you do next is you need to ungroup these objects. So you can see these objects are moving as one object. So you select, that is picking your image, then hover your mouse to the top right. You see there's an X with 3 boxes, which is ungroup all objects. Click on that. So as you can see now, these objects are standalone. As you can see, I can move the E on its own. So so from there, the first thing is we want to make sure that our colors are the same. So in this case, we're going to pick like this object. You pick the object, then we want to change the color. So you hover your mouse to the bottom right. So you can see where it is written curve on layer 1. Double click there, then there comes your colors, but we want to change to the other color. So you pick your color eyedropper, then you click on the color that you want, then you click OK. So as you can see now, we have that image. It's almost the same color. So let's do that to every object. Click the object on the color watches or on the curve on layer 1, but in this case we already have this color on our recently used colors, so we don't need to come back and double click. You just come to the bottom left, then you pick the color that you want. Then we do the same to all the objects that need that color. So as you can see, we have something that looks like the logo that we had, but there is a problem here. We have this little line. How do we deal with that? So as you can see, either you can push one of the layers, because now as you can see, our circle is broken down into 2 parts. But how to deal with this? Either you can push the lower part upwards, or you can push the upper part downwards. So in this case, I want to push the lower part upwards. So click it, then your up arrow to move that part. So as you can see, we almost have the logo that we were looking for. So that was one way of recreating this logo. Now let's try another way. On that one we used the tracing bitmap part. So in this one we actually want to redo everything from scratch, but just using the tools that we have on Corel Draw. So the first thing is, as you can see, you need creativity. These are circles. All these are 4 circles, and that's an H, that's another circle, and that's another circle. Again, that could be a circle, that could be a circle. So how do we do that? Draw your circles exactly the same size as these ones. So the first thing is, I'm going to take my ellipse tool from the tools bar, then I draw the first circle, then make sure it's the actual size of the circle by dragging and resizing it. So as you can see, I can't do this, but you can zoom in to work with the circle properly. So I zoom in, then I take my pick tool so I can shrink my circle. So now I have that circle. I can zoom out or zoom in, but in this case I still want to have my circle zoomed in. So I have the first circle. Let's see, I'm not coloring it as yet, so I draw the second circle, which is this one. So as you can see, this circle is almost the same size as this one, this one, and this one. So I don't need to redraw all those circles. I can just copy that one and paste. So in this case, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. I now have my 3 circles. So you take your pick tool, you click and drag on your mouse to place the circles where you want them. So I have my circles, but as you can see, these circles have a color. They are all in white. So you come to the file right, you pick your colors. So in this case it's white, so do that to every other circle, do that to all the circles. So now I have my white circles. Now I'm not yet done with the circles. I now need the bigger circles on the nodes. And now these circles have colors in them, but they also fall. So I can still I need to color them. So you take your pick tool, then hover your mouse to the bottom right, then you can see where there is ellipse on layer 1, which is the paint bucket. Double click there, it's really none, but double click. Then you can come to uniform fill, then it gives you the colors. Pick your color eyedropper, then select the color that you want and press OK. So as you can see, we now have a blue circle, but now we have a problem with this blue circle. It's on top of our white circle, but we want it under the white circle. So what do? Click Control page down to send it behind. So as you can see, it's now behind. So let me copy paste. So move your circles, the copied and pasted, move them to the positions that you want them. So as you can see, on this node we want a red circle, so let's color it. The same thing, bottom right, double click on the paint bucket. So let's pick our red. So we have a red circle. We also need another red circle here. We now have red on our bottom left, so just click red. But now we want the circles behind. And there is this thing about Corel Draw. When you want to select multiple objects, you don't press Control then you click the object, but in this case you actually use Shift. So Shift then click on the object. I've selected 3 of my circles, then I want them behind the white circles, so it's control page down until you see the white circles on top. So now if you notice something, these parts are actually circles that are colored in white. I'll show you, you'll see it making sense after this video. But this circle is behind every other object, but on top of the blue circle. So let's firstly draw a blue circle, the bigger blue circle. So I can still copy one of the circles and paste. Then we need the blue circle, drag and enlarge the circle until it's the correct size. So now we have our blue circle, but now as you can see, this blue circle is now disturbing us because so now to avoid trouble with this blue circle, we need to send it back behind everything. So just you can right click on the circle and order, look for order, then send back of page. So now we know we have our blue circle, but it's behind the page. So now let's get the white circles, and then create this curve like shape. So just copy any of the circles, then already we have a white circle, so copy any of the small white circles, drag it and enlarge it such that it covers the whole space that we want. But as you can see now, this thing is not working. We might not need it as a white circle, but rather there is something that we can use. So on this one, let's try to use the pen tool. So we take our pen tool. If you can't see your pen tool, move your mouse to the tools menu, then you see where there is a freehand tool. Click on the drop down, then you can find your pen tool. So what we want to do with the pen tool is very simple. The first thing is you click your first point, then in this case let's click our second point, then click back on the starting point to finish editing. Then you take your shape tool, then hover your shape tool to the line, one of the lines, but in this case the lines looks like one, but you will see. So hover your mouse until you see the S-shaped, right click on the line, then to curve. So then click and drag your curve outwards. So as you can see, we have something that looks like a circle, but we're not yet done. So click again on one of the nodes, then you see a pointing arrow. Click and drag that arrow until you get your desired shape. Do that on the other side. Click and drag until you see your desired shape. So already we have this. This is exactly the object that we want. So Control C, V, copy paste. Then we need it here, but as you can see, we need to rotate it. So for rotating, either you can move your mouse to the top right and you see there's a mirror horizontally or mirror vertically, but we haven't gotten the actual shape that we want. So you can click on it, then until you see a double pointing arrow that looks like spherical or something, then click and drag until you have your desired outcome. But in this case, it's not exactly as we want it. So what you do, you take your shape tool, again you drag this point outwards. Now we have what we're looking for. Then copy paste again, bring it here, mirror horizontally, mirror vertically, then you need to click again. So as you can see, we're almost there. There we go. Copy paste, go to the last point, so mirror horizontally, vertically, then drag until you get what you want, then place it where you want it to be. Place it exactly where you want it to be. So now we want these objects behind the scenes, so shift, then select all the objects, shift and select your objects, the 3 of them. Okay, if you can't, just do that manually, one after the other. So right click, order to back of page, right click, order to back of page, order to back of page, then order to back of page. Back of page. So now we almost have everything. We're only left with these lines. We're left with these lines that are like but in other words, as you can see, this looks more or less the same. It looks like another circle, but it's got different colors. So in this case, we're not going to be able to do that, so we need to use a pen tool again. So let's use a pen tool to draw the outer lines. So you take your pen tool, click on the first point, then create another node, then another node, then another node at the corner there, then back to where you started. You take your shape tool, move your shape to the line until you see an S, convert to curves, then drag outwards. Do that with the other line. Shape tool, you see an S, to curve, then drag outwards. So as you can see, we now have this thing. So let's copy this and paste it. Control V, Control C, Control V. We need to tilt it so that we get the actual object that we want. We still need to tilt it a little bit more, then place it where you want it exactly. Copy paste, tilt, place it where it is exactly wanted. Place it where you want it. Control, copy, paste, tilt. Then place it. So now we have everything except for one thing. We don't have our edge. So now you just need to take your text tool and type your edge. So as you can see, this edge is bold. Draw your edge, resize it, resize it. Yes. So as you can see, guys, we now have everything except the text. So now let's resize our logo so that we see what we're working with. So there we go. So now back to coloring. Our edge is in white, so we need it in white. Then this smaller circle is in red. We color it red. Then this point right here is in blue. This one is in red. This one blue. This one red. Then as you can see guys, this one is red, blue. We're almost there, but our white object, the one that is supposed to then make this design, is actually behind everything. So what do we need to do? We need to bring it upwards. So control page up until you can see it, then color it white. Do that to all the objects. Control page up until you see it on top of everything. Control page up until you see it. Control page up. Yes, there we go. Then white. Control page up. White. Control page up. Then we color it white. So guys, as you can see, we now have what we're looking for, but now we have these outer lines. So you can highlight the whole object, then you can move your mouse to the top right. You see where there's the outer line icon, click, then say none. So guys, as you can see, we now have our logo. The only thing that's left, but before we do any other thing, let's group it. So highlight outwards, then Control G to group. So now we have our object grouped. You can resize it. So now we have resized it. The only thing that's left is our text, which is Draw Engineering, established 2010. So take your text to, then type Draw Engineering. Draw Engineering, established 2010. So that's Draw Engineering, then established 2010. So now guys, there's one thing that I haven't taught you yet. You can break this text into two objects. As you can see, these are two lines, so I can break them into different objects. So you just click on the text, then come to object and break artistic text. So as you can see, now I have two different text. Draw Engineering, established 2010. I need to change the font type to let's say Consulas. Then also I need to change the font color to blue, and this one, established 2010, I change it to Consulas. Then I change the color to red. So as you can see guys, we have the logo that we were looking for. So I now need to group my logo, group all the objects. So I highlight, Control G, and now I have my logo, Draw Engineering. So happy designing guys. So now I want to use this logo for something else. I want to design a business card using this same logo and other information. So pause the video a bit and gather all the requirements for a business card. If you have some photos you'd want to put, if you have any icons you'd want, bring them to this page. So we're going to come up with a very simple but nice design for a business card. So the first thing is I want a pen tool. In fact, let me use a rectangle tool for this. So take your rectangle tool, and I draw my rectangle on the top left corner of my business card. So there goes my rectangle. Then right click on the rectangle, convert to curves. Then I take my shape tool, and I want to create a triangle. So I can just delete this node, like the bottom right node. So I can delete it. So as you can see, I now have a rectangle, a triangle, sorry. Then I can copy the same thing and put it on every corner. Copy it and put it on every corner. This one I need it flipped. Then I can paste. I get it here. Also I need it flipped somehow. Then I paste and I drag it here, and I need it flipped that way. So the next thing is I'm going to color these triangles differently. In this case my corporate colors are red and blue, so make the other one red, the other one blue, the other one red, the other one blue, something like that. Then from there I want my logo at the center of the business card. Then also all my contact details, I want them down there. So the next thing is you're going to, so now I need to add the other details that I need on my business card. So now adding the other details, I take my text 2, then in this case I need to add the services that we provide. So we specialize in structural engineering, window frames, structural engineering, window frames, carports, industrial gates, carports, industrial gates, wheelbarrows, then curtain rails, and etc. Then I need the name of the owner of the business card. So this is Hatijke Jack, Then I need the contact details, like the phone numbers. So I have +263 77 734 562 976, and I also have another number which is +263 717 704 then 953 935. Then the last number is +263 774 805 298. Then the last detail that I need is the address. So this is 13394 Kwadzana extension, Harare, Zimbabwe. So if you notice something, as I was typing my stuff, I didn't even care the position, the location, whatever, because this is Corel Draw. So now the next thing is you need to resize your text and place it where it's supposed to be. So in this case, change my font type, then font size I'll need to change it to 6. Change font type to bunch shrift, then font size to 6. Font size to 6, bunch shrift, then Hatijke Jack. Notice one thing, for the name normally I put a bigger font. So now the major challenge now is how to arrange this information. So as you can see, we have the name of the business card owner, the business card holder, which is Jake Hatijke. Then I'm going to place his numbers right below the name. Then I'm also going to place the address. Then for the address I need to center it. So how do I do that? You move your mouse to the top right, then you can see where it is written horizontal alignment. then you need to select center. Then from there I still have many other things to put. This guy, because he's the client, he requires pictures on his business card. So now how do you arrange the pictures? How are you going to arrange them? How are you going to place them nicely? Now there's another challenge. So now for the images I would need a container. So in this case I'm going to use a polygon, a 6-sided polygon. So hover to your tools bar, pick your polygon, then change the size to 6. So I will need to draw my polygon. I'll need to put as many as possible because my client gave me too many pictures. So this is my first polygon. Copy that polygon, Control C, then I place another one here, then copy paste, I place another one here. So as you can see, my polygons are kind of bigger than what I want to have, so I can just reduce the size. Then I can move, and also I could need them probably to be wider and not wider like that, wider like this. Let me get another polygon, because you see there's a lot of blank space here, and I can do this. So now already I have 4 containers for 4 pictures, so I can safely copy this and paste. Then I can drag and place them this other side to the right. Then I need to rearrange them. So you just hover your mouse to the top, then mirror vertically or horizontally depending on where you want them to be and how you want them to look. Also these polygons, they need to be aligned. So to align them to the left, I just highlight all of them, then I press L, that's align left. Then I can move this one to the actual position that I want. So I can do the same. I need to align these ones to the right. So highlight them, then press R to align them to the right. Then you move this one into the center right there. So as you can see, I now have my polygons. Now I want to put these pictures inside these polygons. So right click on any picture, then power clip inside. So do that as you gather all your images. Put your images in the polygons, and so as you can see, this is how I finally twitched my business card, and this is the final business card for Mr. Hatichke Jack. So we move on to the next. My client also wants a sticker that they will need to stick at every gate after they do their jobs. So I'm going to use the same logo as well, but with different information. But that's a tutorial for another day. Otherwise for today, that's enough. It's a bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed your viewing. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. One other thing before I go, when I say subscribe, you're not paying anything, nothing is being taken away from you. You just click the subscribe button, which is the red button to your right after you watch the video. Nothing will be taken from you. You subscribe for free. It's just that if you subscribe, you'll be notified of all the other videos that I do whenever I post them on YouTube. Otherwise, thank you for watching.